Hello there! I'm Margaret.
And I'm Liz, and we're part of the WSP program with the CCC, stationed here in Trinity County at the Hayfork Watershed Center. And we're so happy that you stumbled upon us, because today we're going to be going over the salmon life cycle.
Salmon are androgynous fish, which means they're born in fresh waters in rivers or streams, and then they migrate to the ocean to where they spend most of their lives. When it's time for them to have their own babies and lay their own eggs, they return to the stream or river they were born in order to do that.
So now let's get into the entire life cycle.
Yay!
So let's start with the beginning of the life cycle, which is the egg. So when females come up to rivers or streams to spawn, they build their own nests, and these are called redds. And redds are not made from like sticks and twigs like you would think of like a bird's nest, but more with the rocks in the stream bed. She uses her tail to carefully construct a perfectly designed pit that will keep these eggs unharmed through those early stages of life. Females can lay up to 2,000 to 5,000 eggs in a single redd. The female will then guard these eggs for a couple of weeks. And after those couple of weeks, her lifespan is then over and she does die. She has completed her life cycle. And while this may seem sad, it's actually a really good thing. So once those fish die, the males and females, their carcasses, which were originally in the ocean, like Margaret mentioned before, have those really awesome marine nutrients. And those nutrients get deposited up here in the northwest. And when that happens, the plants around it are able to take up those nutrients. So for example, trees that have access to these nutrients that the carcasses provide grow up to 25% larger than trees without those nutrients. Another awesome benefit would be that the carcasses provide food for the macroinvertebrates in the water. These macroinvertebrates, or water insects, are valuable food sources for those young that they just laid down. And so they'll be able to feast on these bugs and grow up big, strong, and healthy and be able to continue on their own life cycle.
After the eggs hatch, there remains a little piece of the yolk sac attached to the baby fish that is now called an alvin. The yolk sac will provide nutrients for the alvin, as the fish is not able to provide its own nutrients or catch its own food. Once the fish is able to catch its own food, it is called a fry. And fries now feed on zooplankton and food particles in the water so that they can grow large. The fry begin to live in the stream that they were born in and also move towards the ocean, where they will enter it at the river's mouth.
So after the fry have developed a bit, they turn into smolt, or young salmon. These young salmon are now at the mouth of the river. This is where the salt water mixes with the fresh water. And they undergo a process called smolting. And it's a chemical change in their body that allows them to be able to swim in salt water and compared to fresh water. These young salmon will then move out into the ocean, and they will travel in mostly groups in order to be protected. Survivability in numbers. And so once they are there, they will be able to develop more and eat more and then grow into adult salmon.
Once the young salmon have grown to be large enough, they are considered adult and will live the majority of their life within the ocean's waters. When it is time for them to go and lay their own eggs, they go into what is known as the spawning phase. Once they have entered the spawning phase, it's time for them to return to the river or stream where they were born and where they came from their eggs in order to lay their own eggs. The spawning phase is they now leave the ocean and begin to swim up the river or stream in order to create their own baby fish. Thank you for watching our video, and we really hope you'll join us for the rest of Salmon Awareness Month.
Thank you.
Thank you.